Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's key objective is to finish and implement the last feature, which is settings feature. Let's create a new feature, new module, Android library. It's going to be called settings feature. Copy this. I'm going to add here the domain layer as the first module and finish. Delete this, and switch back to project. Under settings, Gradle file. As usual, we need Android library, Kotlin Android. Apply the shared Gradle plugin and the dependencies, core module and health. Sync the project, switch back to Android, and let's implement the repository and the use cases. Create a package here, call it repository, another one for use cases. Create a new interface, call it application settings repository. We need to define here a function that's going to stream the changes of the settings for our application. Therefore, we're going to return here a flow. And let's call this function getApplicationSettings. And another function to save the data or to update the app settings. It's going to be a suspending function. It takes in parameter settings of type application settings. That's pretty much it for the application settings repository. Let's define the use cases, getApplicationSettings use case, as well as saveApplicationSettings use case. And for dependency injection purposes, we're going to group all the use cases under one data class. For the getApplicationSettings, we need to inject into constructor the application settings repository. We have to override the operator invoke. Likewise for saveApplicationSettings use case, and we have grouped two use cases under one data class for dependency injection purposes. And we are done basically with the domain layer. Let's add another module under library, data, copy this, paste it here, and hit finish. Delete these two lines, and basically switch back to project. Under settings, we need Android library and Kotlin Android. And to apply the shared Gradle plugin, and for the dependencies, let's initially add core and health in order to provide the rest of dependencies by the help of autocomplete. Before moving forward, switch back to Android. Under build source, let's define here features library for this particular feature. Kotlin file, let's call it AppSettings feature dependencies. An implementation for the domain layer and implementation for the entire feature. We need as dependency the room database, provide here project. We need the data module Android test implementation and the domain layer for settings feature. That's pretty much it. Let's sync the project and our data layer is ready to go. Let's go back to the data layer under Kotlin. Let's add the repository package and the DI package. And the repository creates a new class. Let's call it add implementation. We need to provide here as a dependency the database because we are going to deal with the database for caching purposes, for caching basically the app settings. And we are good to go. For this particular repository implementation, we need only the app settings DAO. Now let's stream the app settings by using flow, return DAO, get application settings, and we have to map the results to application settings. And because this value is nullable, we're going to assign the default value app settings, the dark theme false. Or we can just use this one, the default one. Let's come back here and do app settings.default. To save the app settings, it's very simple. DAO save application settings. We have to provide here the entity. We're going to map the model to the application settings entity. It's called here app settings. And that's pretty much it for the implementation of application settings repository implementation. Now let's define the dependency injection module for this particular feature. As usual, annotate this object with module and install in signals and components. And as usual, we're going to show health how to provide this instance of application settings repository and the use cases. And that's all for the application settings feature domain module. There is nothing to test actually. We are just getting or streaming the data from the database and updating the data. Nothing special. That's going to wrap up our video for today. And we are done basically with all the available features for our application. We have implemented so far the products feature, the authentication feature, wishlist feature, and settings feature. And for this particular feature, settings feature, we don't have actually any dedicated screen for that matter. And perhaps when the application will get bigger, we have to do a dedicated screen for this particular settings. In our case, we don't need to, so we have just two layers, the data layer and the domain layer. For the next tutorial, we're going to glue everything together. We're going to use authentication feature, product feature, settings, wishlists in the main application. And we're going to, as usual, make the needed integration tests before running the app under end-to-end tests. I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one and happy coding.